For several months now, the water in my house has become harder and harder. When I looked into it, the salt brine tank was full of water, meaning that the salt brine is not being drawn back into the system and dissolving the minerals that it captures. With this system, we add about 5 gallons of water to the tank in the beginning. This allows the water and salt to break down into a brine solution. The system, when it regenerates, pours about 5 more gallons of water into the brine tank, then draws it out and flushes it through the resin tank. After that, it flushes the resin tank with fresh water until the system is clean and puts it back into service. It wasn't working, so I called technical support, and the man there told me that it was most likely the Venturi gasket that needed to be replaced. So he helped me order one. It came in the mail, and so today I'm going to be replacing the old one with the new one. I'm removing the brine hose and replacing it with this little test hose to be able to see how the system flows. And it's always a good idea to hold the Venturi while you're disconnecting or connecting to any other pipes. You don't want to be breaking this thing off. With the short hose in the bottle, I can better see how the system is operating. In this model, if you push the recharge button, it will recharge in the middle of the night or when it is scheduled around 2 a.m. in the morning. If you push and hold the recharge button, it starts to fill water into the brine tank, as it is here in this bottle. When you push the button again, it should start drawing water out of the bottle or out of the brine tank, and as you can see, it is not. So I push the button 2 more times to get it to the end of its cycle. Now I push the bypass valve into bypass to isolate the system from the main water supply. To remove the Venturi cap, hold underneath the unit with your left hand and unscrew the top with your right hand. You don't want to be breaking this thing. It is composed of many parts. Make sure it is all clean, no debris. Under the blue disc is the gasket that needs to be replaced. You may want to take a paper clip, straighten it out, bend the tip of it at a 90-degree angle to be able to get this little gasket out. Just be very careful. You don't want to be scratching anything. Once the old gasket is out, you'll want to replace it with the new one. Then be very careful and install everything back the way you found it, and hold the bottom of the Venturi and tighten the cap hand tight. This should fix the problem, or so I was told. Now that we have it all put back together, it's time to see if that fixed the problem. Open the bypass valve. So with the hose in the bottle, I press and hold recharge, and it starts filling the bottle. I press recharge again, and it should be taking water out, and it does not. It's time to order new parts. At this time, I click through the system to get it back to home base and put everything back in order, have the brine hose back in place, and I'll be back when I have the parts. Well, I'm back. Here I'm getting ready to dismantle the valve assembly to change out the gaskets inside. Remove the screws and the motor. Here I'm marking the direction of this rotor disc and removing the screws to the motor plate and removing all of that. Remove the brine tank hose and replace it with the short hose. Remove the cam gear. Here I'm using a small adjustable end wrench to move the rotor around to do one final check before I disassemble the rotor assembly. Close the bypass valve. Remove this little switch. The bottom shroud of the cover just clips into the main valve body. Carefully unclip it and remove it over out of the way. Now remove the screws from around the valve cover. Remove the drain hose adapter from the valve body. Here I have the package with the new gaskets and the instructions and the packet of gaskets. Oh, no, wait. I've ordered the wrong gaskets. Nothing to do now but to put it all back together. As a second thought, maybe insight from above, I removed the clip, then the Venturi from the valve body, then proceeded to put the whole thing back together. I set the drill at its lowest torque before I screw the top down, and I go back and forth as you would in bolting a tire rim to your car. Now that it's back together, I'll do one more test. Remove the brine tank hose and install the little short hose. Put it in the bottle. I'm sorry, you didn't see the test results. It poured water into the bottle, then withdrew it out. That's a surprise result. I really did not do anything to fix this system. Now that it's all back together, I'll run it through a recharge. It's hard to see, but it's filling water into the brine well and tank. And now it's drawing water back out. I think the issue was there may have been a grain of sand in the inlet to the Venturi, and by undoing the Venturi, it allowed that grain of sand to fall out along with the water that was in there. I will simply explain what I think happened. In this drawing, we have two inlet pipes and a pipe that goes to the brine tank. And this circle is Venturi. The lower is the fill line. It supplies water to the brine tank. The upper is a little jet back nozzle that creates a siphon in the Venturi that draws brine back through the system. If there is a little grain of sand that comes through the city water, it would block that little nozzle and stop the whole system from siphoning the brine water back out of the brine tank and flushing it through the system. Considering you may have debris coming down your water pipes from the city or well, you may want to install a sediment filter to keep little pieces like sand, debris, and stuff like that out of your soft water system. Who knows what it might affect? Well, that's my opinion. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.